On the Night Bus by Nick Turpin, published by Hoxton Mini Press. Around, when was the publication date on this? Let's have a look. It doesn't say. Oh, just, I love it. Let's have a look at that in a minute. It will say somewhere. Published in 2016. This is the first edition. Nick Turpin is one of, in my list of favourite photographers. Nick is I would say, street photographer. I'm sure Nick would love that label. He can be often seen hanging around in Piccadilly Circus and around Trafalgar and all of the Leicesters of London. He is a sort of prominent figure in the street photography world, and he does lots of workshops. He's got he's got his own developed his own picture library with a series of other photographers. I think he was part of In Public, who are some amazing masters and current contemporary street photographers. So I got to know Nick's work through my fascination with street photography. I think when you're learning the craft of photography, one of the greatest things to be able to shoot and do and achieve is to get out and shoot in the street. It's really hard work. These guys make it look easy. These people, those street photographers who spend their time on the street shooting and trying to interpret situations, waiting for things to happen in all weathers, as Nick's just proved here, is a real art form and a real skill. But if you're learning photography, and I send students out with street photography themes to develop their practice, because there's a lot of skills involved with it, and it really does challenge all the senses and awareness of the fundamentals of being a photographer when you're out on the street having to find portraits and find interaction with people and landscapes and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm waffling. On the Night Bus, Nick Turpin. As I've just said, a favourite photographer of mine. I've reviewed Hoxton Mini Press before. I've done, I think I did the stuff in East London with David Campany. Nick Turpin is, the age of 20, Nick Turpin became the youngest full-time photographer on a national UK broadsheet, spending 7 years shooting news, features and portraits for The Independent. Nick is a self-proclaimed street photography evangelist, I didn't say that, and has spread his enthusiasm for the art through books, exhibitions and workshops, TV, radio, lecturing, and in 2000 he founded the international collective In Public, which has played a significant role in the modern resurgence of street photography. And I know now, a contemporary, in 2018, that I'm sure I'm correct, that he now has a street photography picture library. I will put the link for that if I can find it, and Nick Turpin's website, and In Public, I'll put that, why not? And I will put a link for Hoxton Mini Press. And I could have just read this in the first place rather than trying to talk about Nick. That's a little statement from Hoxton Mini Press. A very small operation, but producing some absolutely beautiful, beautiful books. And this is book 2, called Tales from the City, that celebrates the best in urban photography. Lovely. I'll leave that there. Maybe a picture of Nick just in the corner there, so he's watching. Okay, so let's have a look. It is, we've got a page count on it. No, I would like to guess there's a lot. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I have no idea. It's really good quality, this. You can still buy this. You can go to Hoxton Mini Press, you can get it on Amazon. Let's have a look at it. So, what's it about? Book 1 was People of London. Book 2 is On the Night Bus. It's a Will Self introduction. I used to take the night bus. It's very nice. Photographers know. Nick's was the project from the Elephant and Castle Shopping Centre. So he's using a long lens on that. So, okay, I guess that's the reason why maybe nobody realises he's there. Maybe he is shooting what looks like a classic 200, maybe 270, 200 Canon zoom. Probably a little bit different to the style he normally shoots on. I suspect that Nick's shooting 28, 35, 50 mil right up close, right in front of people. Or maybe it's a different format. The pictures in this book were made over 3 winters between 5:30 and 7:30 as the commuters travelled home by bus from their jobs in the City of London. I photographed into the top deck of the bus from a raised platform using a long lens and a very slow shutter speed. It was generally unpleasantly cold and wet. Okay, there you go. I consider that candid public photograph to be an important social history document. Right, leave that and you can read that. Corinthians 13, what I Corinthians 13:12. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. I think this is, for me, the attraction. It's an art book. Yes, it's about commuters. Yes, it's street photography, but it's done in a beautiful, like almost a painter's version, you know, like something like an impressionist. And I think Nick spotted that, and I think there's something beautiful about the whole imprint of the light and the person and the emotion which is going on with the people in the frame, on the shot. Day's work, you're tired, it's a rush hour. Been on them buses, lived in London for 20 odd years, I get the feeling. I know what it's like after a hard slog coming back. And you know, even here, in fact, what I'll do is I'm going to bring this down a little bit and let you come in. Sorry, Nick, I took your picture out. You know, look at the texture of the movement. Maybe that's her, maybe it's not. It's like sort of that desperation to look out the window in a way. It's all stained up, and obviously I think she's resigned to sort of resting and sleeping. There's so much pattern and shape and texture on it. It's almost like Gerhard Richter is a person that like a photoreality thing, you know, that looks like the paintings, which photorealism, you know, but they're beautiful. I love it. I wish I'd have thought of this. It's great. Look, you've got the classic window there, window marks from the bus. It is such a work of art. I bought this because I thought it was a bit of a work of art, this, and I absolutely love it. Let's have a... It's the palette. It's the using of the palette, it's that art form, it's the art of people moving, interaction with transport and colour and light, and it's fantastic. Look at that. Oh, that should have been big, man. That's beautiful. That is awesome. I love the way there's lots of white marks on the windows as well. What I'm going to do, I'm thumbing in for a big chunk of it, and I'm going to go straight to something else, because I ain't going to show you all of it. I think if you want it, you should help Hoxton Mini Press and help Nick fund their projects, fund their long hours, and help them create more books by buying this book and helping British photography and photojournalism and journalism and small publishing companies. It's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. I think you could, you know, I think with the whole abstract element of it, the glass is obviously in the foreground, the midground is the people, and the lights play in a background, and it's given it this three-dimensional effect. And I think it's a beautifully observed piece of work. It is, and I think there's definitely the light, the wet, the people give a sense of period and time and travel, and almost like caught in a moment, a minuscule, you know, judging by the movement, it's probably 125th of a second of their life, you know, something like that. Wow, look at that. Ah, it's so gorgeous. I mean, even looking at the LCD as well, and knowing on the video it's going to even be more, a little bit more contrasting, and it just elevates it, you know, totally. Sort of the space, the colour, everything's gorgeous. And then I'll do one more picture. And I've missed if you look at this, I've missed the sort of middle out. I sort of went there and I missed all that out. And rightly so, you know, it's got a lovely stitch but bind on it. It's a really good quality book, and for the cost of a couple of quid, you know, you've got some really a good reference point for for your, behind the inspiration for you to shoot stuff like this and get out there and show what you can create. And what photography is about how you see the world. But being a great photographer is about how you see the world. And what Nick's saying is is his vision of how he sees commuters every day, how he sees the abstractness, how he sees the colour and the light. And possibly that Nick's either stumbled across this or been looking at it from a distance for a long time and gone, there's something in this. And he's got a book because he's got out there, got wet, got cold, ripped away from his family in South London, and he's shooting this. And that's commitment, you know. And this is what happens when you're committed. You get published, you get respect, and you get people like me looking at it and talking about it. And I'm going to just, I'm just going to hit on this page, right? So, oh God, I haven't looked at that picture. Well, that's beautiful, but I'm not going to open it up. I'll have a look when I've turned the camera off. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? So this is just the contents. And yeah, I love it. Well done, Hoxton. Well done, Nick. Please, if you want to buy this, go to Nick Turpin's website, go to Hoxton Mini Press's website, and pick it up. Well done. Thank you.